Welcome back to Stuff I Kind of Care About. I'm Danny, and today we're going to be doing, playing with some leather. I really enjoy being able to get into the outdoors and going backpacking and all that stuff, and I haven't done enough of it in the last few years. It's something that I want to get back into, but I've been looking at a few options for that and going with some friends and stuff, and I've been thinking about, taking stuff with me into the outdoors and how you can take like seasonings and spices and stuff, because I'm huge on cooking and I like cooking like more real meals when I'm backpacking, taking raw ingredients and then making something unique while I'm in the wilderness. And so that's something that I decided that I'd get into today. So a while back, I made these little leather dice cups. I play a lot of tabletop games and these are great. You can keep your dice in here, you can roll them out of this, and I absolutely love them. These are really rough, they're not like super professional in any way. But I was at my local arts and crafts store the other day and I saw these. And I got really interested in this. It's a simple glass bottle with a really quick, I think this is probably just tin lid. It's pretty durable. And it's pretty awesome, and I thought, hey, I want to be able to carry a bunch of spices and seasonings in this thing. I think that's pretty cool. I know, you probably don't care, and that's fine. I'm excited about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new one of these, because I realized that this fits in here really nicely. Like, weirdly nicely. It's pretty compact. I can carry a ton of spices and seasonings in this. I know this is way more than I would ever need for a weekend trip. So I'm going to actually remake this tailored to one of these. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter so that when you pull the lid off, this is standing proud about like this, just so that it can actually get opened without coming out of the leather. I'm probably going to make it a little bit snugger. I don't like how loose this is. And the other thing that I'm going to do is, instead of using this bright orange thread, I'm going to be using artificial sinew. I just want to see how that works, and I'm going to be double threading that and sewing through all of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where I'm going to start. I actually created a pattern for these. It's a very simple pattern. I already have the punch holes all along the edges. It's not the cleanest, prettiest, nicest thing that I've ever made, but I think it'll work. So I'm going to cut all of these pieces out, and then I'm going to go ahead and punch them, and then I'm going to bring you back and show you what I'm going to do with trimming this probably about a 1/4 inch shorter, doing stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and I'll talk to you guys in a minute. Alright, so welcome back. I have everything cut out, and I'm decently happy with it. I did some edging on it. This is right at where I want it to be. I have a little bit spare on the back end, but this is going to fit in here. It's actually going to nest inside. So I think this is going to be the perfect height for what I'm wanting it to do. I'm going to start sewing all of this up. So basically, let me take you through what I did really quick. I used my templates, cut everything out, and I actually have holes already in these templates, and I just set this on top. I actually used my awl to just basically do starter holes, just to show me where everything was, and then I punched through everything with my awl. I know I could be using a leather punch. The problem is, A, this table is not very steady, so it's not the best workspace to be doing that. And B, it gets really loud, and I have a neighbor that I really don't want to disturb because I love her dearly, and she's wonderful. So what I'm going to do is sew all of this up. I am using a curved needle for this. We'll see if this works. I'm hoping it does. I'm going to do this all in one pass. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull through here, and I want my knot on the inside, and then I'm actually going to come over and come through the front of this And as this cinches up, you'll see it start to come together. So I'm actually just going to sew through this entire thing. I am not going to show you me sewing through this entire thing. That's ridiculous. I don't feel like there's anybody that wants to watch me sew through this entire thing. So I'm So I'm just going to go through all of this and get the whole thing put together. I'm going to use one continuous piece of sinew, go all the way down this seam, and then I'm going to sew this cap on, and I'm going to check back in with you guys once I have everything stitched up. It's going to look pretty rough. I'm not going for the prettiest piece ever. I'm going for something that's a little bit more utilitarian. So we'll see how it looks in a few minutes. Hey folks, so I finished it. This is it. It's very simple, very straightforward, and I'm actually completely in love with it. It fits really tightly. It's so snug in here that I don't actually have to put pressure on this bottle. Like, it would be difficult to get the bottle out of there. It's awesome. It's snug. The bottom, one thing I didn't account for is the bottom of this bottle is slightly concave, I think? Concave or convex. Now I have to Google it and figure out which one it is. But anyways, it's one of those two for our purposes here. So this actually like pushes in. It doesn't have this nice like flat underside that I would want it to have personally. The sinew worked really well. So essentially, let me talk you through what I did there. I went through one corner and just kept looping around and then did the whole thing around the top that way, leaving some slack. I left about 3/4 inch of slack on each one of these stitches. And then once this whole seam was threaded up, I went and pulled all the slack. And then once all of this was stitched up, I went through and pulled the slack back out. Now, pros and cons of working with sinew. I've worked with it before. This is my first time working with it on a project of this level. I've mainly used it on, you know, I made a really, really crappy tomahawk a few years back and used it. So stuff like that. To be honest, working with this artificial sinew is really simple, really straightforward. It wants to do what you want it to. One of the really nice things about it is how waxed it is. So that means that it doesn't want to clump up and knot up as you're pulling these long lengths of it through, which is something that you'll get into with a normal thread. Cons is my hands are still sticky, and I've washed them with dish soap. So that's something I don't foresee going away as quickly as I'd like it to. But really, the stuff's awesome. It looks really cool to me, at least. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. So if you have ideas, let me know. I don't know if I'm going to keep it or if I'm going to give it away. Eventually, before too long, I think I'd like to do a giveaway on the channel, probably at about the 100 subscriber mark. I think I'd like to do benchmark subscriber giveaways and do some small stuff like this or some journals or stuff. So hopefully you folks are enjoying what I'm making. I'm continuing to have a blast. This is awesome that I get to do this for fun and that, you know, some people are actually enjoying this. If you're digging what I'm doing, please think about hitting that subscribe button, hitting the like button, you know, whatever you feel like would be helpful, that would be awesome. Please comment, let me know what you're thinking, let me know what you'd like to see me do next. I have only gotten a couple of people, you know, that have ideas on what I'm going to do next, and I'm looking at my board over there, and I'm kind of starting to run out of my first batch of ideas, which is good. I'm doing a lot of stuff. So, thanks again. I'm going to run and cut this short. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. We'll catch you next time.